as a reminder right here, if you have an odd degree with a positive leading coefficient, the graph is going to, again, don't know what's happening in between, but it's going to go up and to the right, down and to the left. If you have an odd degree with a negative leading coefficient, you're going to go up and to the left, down and to the right. If it's an even degree, the end behavior is going to go up in both. If it's a positive leading coefficient, and with an even degree and a negative leading coefficient, it's going to go down and down in both directions. Okay, so if you took this, this function written in its factored form, I want you to identify whether your graph, whether your outputs, your f of x values, approaches, and again, the options here are going to be infinity, negative infinity, or 0 for each of those. So based on this function, I want you to answer these two questions. As x approaches negative infinity and as x approaches infinity, this is one of the ways that it'll ask you to identify the end behavior or the long run behavior. You don't have to write these down, but these are the two pieces of information that you're going to use to identify your long-run behavior. And if you're given the factored form, you simply need to, you don't have to physically expand this out. You can just look to see what's your total power going to be. You have a multiplicity of 4 for the x, multiplicity of 1 for the x minus 3, so that's a total of 5, and then a multiplicity of 1 for the x plus 7, so that gives you a total degree of 6. So we're dealing with an even function, or an even degree polynomial. And so finally, your leading coefficient is going to be what number? Your leading coefficient will be the same regardless of whether it's expanded form or factored form. It's this number out in front. So the leading coefficient is a negative 9. So we're looking at a negative leading coefficient of an even degree power. So this is what, or even degree polynomial. So this is what the end behavior should look like. So as x approaches negative infinity, what's happening to our y's? They are approaching what? Also negative infinity. And here as x approaches positive infinity, the second instance, y, or the outputs, are approaching what? Also negative infinity.